Well, hi, this is Candace Wilson again. This is my final vlog for my student teaching experience at a high school, teaching music and teaching choir. I have to say it has been a very long and interesting experience. There were days when I did not think that this was for me, and then there were days when I felt, wow, this is really amazing. And those days when it was really amazing were due to a lot of factors. One, my students being in a good mood. Of course, two, me being able to keep them in a good mood and keep them motivated. And three, usually that was due in part or mostly to the fact that I had a really nice lesson plan, very good planning for the day, very good pacing. I feel like areas that I've improved on the most throughout my student teaching have been one, my ability to communicate effectively and patiently with my students. When I say effectively, I mean to choose words and terminology that they will understand, not only based on what they should know at this point in their high school careers, music-wise, but what they might be familiar with in their vernacular. That's just me getting to know my students, getting to know how they speak, and what's going to make sense, because sometimes the way I might explain something to a colleague, even if it's in general layman's terms, it's still not going to be relatable enough for my students. So I've realized you don't dumb it down, you just filter it through a different screen, that information that you're trying to communicate with your students. I've also learned that I need to be very patient. My patience has grown quite a bit. You know, it's very easy to get frustrated with students who you may think have the, lack of the ability to sit still for long periods of time and learn, and they might actually lack that ability. I don't think it's a lack versus they have different needs. They need to be able to do something else other than sit there and listen to a teacher the entire time. This is more the case in my general music classes than it is in choir. In choir, I do deal with students who they didn't choose to be in choir. There was no other class they could take. And these are students who genuinely don't want to be there, genuinely don't like to sing, don't want to sing in choir. This is not what they want to do. Getting them to see the light in their situation and getting them to want to participate is very taxing, because they want to prove to you that you can't get them to do what they don't want to do, and they resist. They resist until you can't take it anymore. So you have to take it, and you have to be patient, and you have to turn their words into something more positive as often as you possibly can, without breaching any, without letting your students be in violation of rules such as, misconduct or misbehavior or disrespect and insubordination. Other than that, those are things I feel like I've done a really, really good job at improving on. I've been able to sequence concepts and ideas way more effectively than I thought I was going to be able to. I've also been able to choose very suitable repertoire for my students. Not only do they like it, it's challenging. It gives them a different perspective on music while still catering to what they can and cannot do music-wise, versus I know they don't have much of an ability in reading music, but they've still been able to recognize form and structure and dynamics, and just by hearing these things, my students can grasp onto something to learn a song better. And I've also gained a lot of strategies to work best with students that are very difficult. I deal with a lot of what you would probably call incorrigible students at my school. I don't really think they're incorrigible. I think they're highly discouraged, and I think they lack many essential skills that haven't been taught to them by teachers prior, such as reading directions, being respectful in the classroom, knowing when it is appropriate, when it's not appropriate to talk, knowing how to raise your hand for help or to speak. Those are all strategies that make the classroom environment much, much more of a facilitator of learning versus constantly talking and shouting. And so I've learned to deal with that and work with it, and use what they throw at me that is out of the normal ideal classroom structure and let it be something that helps them learn versus having me punish them constantly for being insubordinate. I have learned that I have a great ability to be very, very understanding with my students, to relate to them, and to to encourage them to drop their barriers when I'm with them, working with them. I try to be as understanding as possible with my students so that I can teach them to know that, so that they know that I'm not just a teacher, but that I'm also, a friend in the sense of a mentor. I'm here to help them, not hurt them. And I think that above all, that is what has kept me so motivated to keep on teaching, is that connection that you get with students, that really powerful influence that shows them, hey, you can learn. I believe you can learn, and look, I just showed you that you can learn because we just did this together. Showing them that you are in it with them, you are there with them, learning right beside them, helps them a lot. And that's one of the things I find most rewarding about teachers, is being able to relate to students and really help make a difference in their lives by showing them that they are good at something. So I feel like I have improved tremendously as a teacher. On a whole, I still feel that there are quite a few areas of improvement when it comes to playing the piano for my students, maybe sequencing pieces of music a little bit, breaking them down even more than I think they need to be broken down to be learnable segments of a piece of music. But other than that, I feel that will come with time as I learn what my students need in order to learn something. But I feel overall as a teacher, I have made huge strides in my effectiveness, in my relatability, and my communicative skills. And as a musician as well. Thanks very much.